Welcome to NBAF Reimagined, where every week we bring you some of the most compelling movers and shakers within Atlanta's art scene. Thank you for tuning in to NBAF Reimagined.
My name is Demayne Ginyard. I am a entrepreneur in Atlanta and artist. I've been here since 1994. I've been an artist my whole life and have been an active participant in the Atlanta scene for probably 25 years now, kind of behind the scenes. Did art my whole life as a hobby, never really took it to be able to maximize money and do it for a living, but through the progression of years, I've really started taking my artwork a lot more seriously. I've been engaged in a lot of great circles of wonderful artists that's really shaped the atmosphere in Atlanta, the art atmosphere, the art platform in Atlanta, the black arts in Atlanta. I've kind of been a part of the cornerstone in building this thing as a silent participant in Atlanta, and quite honestly, I never thought that I'd become a professional artist. Like I said, I've been doing this my whole life. I, started drawing around 5 or 6 years old, and I come down here with Miya famed artist from on Okeeba Street Station in City of Ink. We rode down here in the same car in 1994. I've known him since the 3rd grade, and I grew up around great artists, but I always felt like my art was a little bit overshadowed by the greatness of my friends and the friendships that I developed. So I kept my thing on a hobby tip, and but at the same time, I've always been building my skills. I've always been, about the movement of pushing black arts to the forefront and making it super important in Atlanta and getting the recognition that we all deserve. And I'm just ready to make a splash and do my thing in Atlanta with my contemporaries that I grew up with, and and kind of put my art out there to the forefront and be seen a little bit now. I say 1994, you had to put a lot of effort into being acknowledged in Atlanta. With social media and the speed of the information age, everything has become very, very instantaneous. You got different platforms where you can be seen now. In 94, you had to absolutely make an effort in order for your artwork to be seen, and also make the bigger effort in order for it to touch the people that you needed to touch. You know what I'm saying? When I came here, I saw people that transformed the tattoo industry. I saw people that took skills that was people might not have thought would become marketable skills in art, from being rudimentary graphic designers using the first editions of Photoshop, to people that was utilizing the first platforms that was online, to with graphic design, and started doing stuff like competitions that we used to have online called making signatures and stuff on message boards and forums, to taking it and becoming very, very dope fine artists. I mean, I got a lot of friends that was on these old platforms when the internet first started jumping, that took those skills that we use in a small community and started creating fine art out of it, and started becoming excellent, not only graphic designers, but dope painters, dope illustrators, all of that type of stuff. So in contrast to 94 to now, I've really started to see people coming to their own and becoming great fine artists, creating, cultivating the culture of Atlanta and wherever they came from, prospectively throughout the United States, and kind of become the person that they were going to be, the artist that they will ultimately turn out to be. And it's been a cool ride to see people go from 0 to 1,000 in this art field. I've seen people that fell off, took a 5-10 years hiatus, came back, and developed some skills. I mean, they might even went on a monk mission to silence themselves and become, the artist that they ultimately became in the year 2020. So just seeing, a lot of the influencers in art in Atlanta start from zero and end up, nationally and internationally acclaimed artists, from, C-Fluxine to Mike Bailey to Fabian to Fahamu Piku to Doctor. A whole lot of, and that's just to name a few. I can tell a story about, watching W, who's from North Carolina as well, start out doing those ads and stuff in the Source magazine, for Mark Echo, and actually to go on and create a platform where he's showcasing local talent and people from all other cities and taking it on a national tour. So I've been around that long. I've seen a lot of cool stuff happen, and I'm glad that Atlanta's not stagnant when it comes to the arts. We actually showing out in Atlanta right now. It's a renaissance period for us. We're in the roaring 20s right now. I would say now, with the connectivity of thought, from the information age and, the age of social media and being able to engineer cult followings and, really seeing the range of your art broaden from not just in a bubble of dealing with Atlanta and Atlanta art scene and Atlanta artists to being able to be national, being able to be on commercials, being able to have your artwork put in front of the president, well, not this dude, but, a president or two, you know what I'm saying? But I think now the relationships either got to be genuine or they, manufactured relationships. Back in the day, you had to actually definitely make effort to, handshake and be inspired by real-time relationships in the art and business game here in Atlanta. The business of art has now taken over. It was the time when we didn't get all kinds of exposure and didn't have the larger community at large look at our art scene here in Atlanta as, as something that could be a force, a tour de force like the art scene out in Seattle or Los Angeles or New York or, Miami. You know what I'm saying? The artists in Atlanta has started now to, with the invention of communication, to utilize those things and start pushing their brand a lot more with a lot more focus and a lot more intentionality of making their talent shine and also be able to be seen by a broad audience. So I think business in the year 2020 of art has a lot of possibilities that are more infinite than the limitations of having to do a lot of the stuff that we had to do in networking in the Atlanta scene back in the day for business. And I will say, don't get it twisted with the social media stuff. Fundamentals of art have to be highlighted, because if you come from a school where you had to do I would say I was in a graphics program when I was in high school where we had to put newspapers and magazines and stuff like that together. You had to get your typefaces and typesets together. There was no Photoshop available. You had to actually put in the work. You had to use a motion paper and dark rooms and all of that type of stuff. You had to go out and make an effort to get real art supplies and canvases. You only had a couple of places to be able to go, your old school Sam Flax, and be able to get your materials and stuff. I even remember a time where what's now Ponce City Market used to have a division where they gave away free art supplies. You have to go like on a 8th floor or something like that, where you take a ticket and they give you paper, markers, you name it. And to be able to go out and just make the effort to go get stuff and make it happen. I think now with the technology and where everything has landed, you can pirate, you can bite, you can not be original. You can almost put out an exact copy of somebody else's work and claim it as your own nowadays, because the authenticity of effort has been worn out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people right now that, they shining off other people's light, and in this time of political correctness, sometimes you can't call them out, or it's gonna make it look like you're a hater, or make it look like, you don't know what you're talking about, especially if you're OG and you actually have seen people build that style or build that artwork up to where they should be getting the recognition, and then you sweep in on the wings and the winds of technology and you're able to outshine because you got more followers on Instagram. You know, I'm fearful for the future sometimes, for the simple fact that, you know, you got to be able to appreciate the grind and the grit that it takes to be an artist out here, and to, you know, be an inspiration to younger generations of artists by the way they look at you and the effort that you put into what you do. The ease of it sometimes cheapens, you know, the effort. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you either look for the exposure and be a genuine artist, or you take from what you learned and you build, and you be able to bring another generation up that can appreciate the technicalities of art, and, you know, and do it that way. But like I said, double-edged sword, what can you do? But I think one thing about it, we just got to be conscientious on how to work and how to move in this art thing right now. 2020, I think, is my year. I've been sitting on a treasure trove of my own artwork. I am a portrait artist. My medium primarily is graphite, chalk pencil. I am a chalk artist. My business, I'm a restaurateur, so I've been doing chalk art for my restaurant, 95th Street Tacos, for a long time now, since we started. And I found great joy in it, but I've been on my graphite thing for a long time. I started out painting and with acrylics, and I've been scared of oil. So what I'm getting ready to do this year is jump into mixed medium. I'm getting ready to start pushing my artwork to the forefront and getting it seen by people that can appreciate my style and what I do, and you know, use 2020 as a springboard to to bring my stuff to the forefront and grow within the arts community, and also grow with the skills that I've been acquiring, you know, being silent and sitting in the background and getting my work on, and really taking the time, not doing rush fast work. I don't have any clients with, I'm a graphic designer too. I don't have any clients right now where I have to do a whole bunch of commissions and stuff like that. I got a little bit of time in between building my restaurant business and building my art portfolio. I want to do a major art show of my own and a solo show. I'm ready for the people to see the work. I'm ready to, you know, join a lot of my contemporaries in the art game, and, you know, shine a little bit maybe, you know.
Jubalo, who is coming to South Fulton February 15, 2020 with his exhibition Atlanta. So with over 20 years of experience in the arts industry as an artist, as a curator, you know, you really get to focus on anything. So why Atlanta? Why this?